Hello everybody, this is Muhammad Imran. Today we will learn and practice how to analyze a poem. Most often in written examination, the students are asked to analyze a poem. And sometimes in a competitive examination, if that is oral or that is written, an examiner gives you a poem and asks you to analyze it. So this lecture is very fruitful and very important to learn how to analyze a poem. So let's begin our today's lecture and discuss Shall I Compare Thee to a Summer Day? It's a sonnet written by William Shakespeare, and this is sonnet number 18. Let's discuss it. So, Sonnet 18 is a typical English or Shakespearean sonnet having 14 lines of iambic pentameter. There will be 3 quatrain followed by a couplet. So all English or Shakespearean sonnets are written within this structure or within this framework. So total number of lines 14, and these 14 lines are grouped into 3 quatrain and 1 couplet. In each quatrain we will have 4 lines. So 4, 4, 4 and followed by a couplet. Couplet consists of 2 lines. And these all lines are structured or written in iambic pentameter. So there will be 10 number of feet will be 10. And the rhythmic pattern would be iambic. Unstressed and stress, unstressed and stress. If you want to know what is iambic pentameter, I have already uploaded a video, so you can go and watch. Even I'll give a link of iambic pentameter in description list. So let's discuss this sonnet. Shall I compare thee to a summer day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's leaves hath all too short a date. You can see that line number 1, day, it is rhyme with line number 3, May. That's why I have written here A and A. So A and A means that line number 1 rhymes with line number 3, while line number 2, it rhymes with line number 4. So B and B. Temperate, it rhymes with date. So day, May. Temperate and date, right? So even that to have like the same rhyming scheme, we can even pronounce the word is temperate. Even it is pronounced as temperate, but we can pronounce it as temperate to rhyme it with date. So this is first quatrain, 4 lines. Let's see how the second stanza is rhymed. Sometime too hard the eye of heaven shine, and often is his gold complexion dimmed. And every fear from fear sometime decline, by chance or nature's changing course untrimmed. So line number 5, the word shines, it rhymes with the word declines. You can see shines and declines. And line number 6, the last word dimmed, it is rhymed with untrimmed. So that's why I put here C, C, D and D. So here C, it rhymes with here C, and D rhymes with here D. So this is the second quatrain or the second stanza. But the eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of that fair thou hast, nor shall death brag though wonders in its shade, when in eternal lines to time thou growest. So in line number 9, the word fade, it rhymes with line number 11, the word shade. And in line number 10, the word host, it rhymes with line number 12, the word growest. So here E rhymes with E and F rhymes with F. Now we have the last couplet, right, which rhymes each other. So long as man can breathe or eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee. So we can see that the last couplet, 2 lines, they rhyme each other, see and thee. That's why that I put here G and G. So this is the structure of Shakespearean sonnet. It consists of 14 lines. The first 12 lines are structured into 3 quatrain, and in one quatrain we have 4 lines, and the first line will rhyme with the third, and the second line will rhyme with the fourth one, and last we have couplet. And these all lines are the arithmetical pattern of all lines are iambic pentameters. Okay, so all lines are written in iambic pentameter. By iambic we mean unstressed and stressed syllable in a line of poetry. Penta mean 5. So there are 5 feet in each line, and in each foot we have 2 syllables. The first one would be unstressed and the second one would be stress. So da-dum, 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 da-dum. We can practice here, that is so long. So the first so, that is unstressed, and long would be stress. So long, it is 1 foot. As man, this is the second foot, as man. The third one is can breathe, that is the third foot. The fourth one is or eyes, unstressed and stressed. And the last one is can see. So can is unstressed and see is stress. We can read thus: so long as man can breathe or eyes can see. And then so long lives this and this give life to thee. So this is then called iambic arithmetical pattern. And there are how many feet are there? 5 feet and 10 syllables. The speaker opens the poem with a question addressed to the beloved, "Shall I compare thee to a summer's day?" So the speaker is asking from his beloved that, "Shall I compare thee to a summer's day?" So why with a summer's day? Because the summer's day in the month of May is the most pleasant day. So people enjoy it a lot. That's why the speaker wants to compare his beloved with the summer day, right? Then in the next 11 lines are devoted to such a comparison. So he is comparing his beloved with the summer's day, because summer's day is the most favorite day of the people of England in the month of May. In line 2, the speaker stipulates that mainly differentiate the young man from the summer's day. So now in the second line, the speaker identifies, and then he is trying to tell us that his beloved is more lovely, is more temperate than summer's day. So even that his beloved surpasses the summer day. Summer's day is the most pleasant day, but his beloved is more lovely, more temperate than a summer's day. So he is more lovely, more temperate. Summer's day tend towards extreme. They are shaken by rough winds because there are chances, right, that the rough winds will blow, right? In them the sun, the eyes of the heaven often shines too hot or too dim. So there are 2 extreme of the summer day, right? Maybe when the poet talks about that the eye of the heaven, he is referring to sun, that sometimes it's too hot and it is unbearable, right? We cannot tolerate this sun, and sometimes it is too dim. So there are 2 extreme of the sun. Whenever we're talking about summer day, so there'll be sun, and people enjoy to take sun bath, to enjoy the sun on a summer day. But there are 2 extreme of the summer day, right? But the poet says, Shakespeare says that there is no extreme of his beloved. His beloved is more temperate. His beloved is more lovely. And who is beloved? Perhaps his beloved is a young man, right? Most of the poem we see, or the critics say that Shakespeare, he writes for his beloved, right? He's praising his beloved, and his beloved perhaps is a young man. And then Shakespeare talks about the span of a summer, that how soon a summer ends. And summer is fleeting, its date is too short, because after the summer there'll be fall and then there'll be winter. So it will disappear. So there is end to what? To summer day. And it leads to the withering of autumn, because there'll be autumn after summer, and after the autumn there'll be winter. So as every fair from fair sometimes decline, we know that beauty disappears. There's decline to every fair, right? So there is decline to everything in this world. Decline to summer, decline to fair, and decline to every human being, decline to every creature Shakespeare talks about. So the final quatrain of the sonnet tells how the beloved differ from the summer in that respect. His beauty will last forever. Shakespeare's beloved beauty will last forever. So Shakespeare beloved then is immortal. How his beloved can be immortal? His beloved can be immortal in the lines of poetry, right? Or in the art, because time will change, people will change, generation will change, there'll be generation after generation, so everything will disappear, but his beloved will remain alive, and his beloved will be the same in the lines of this poem. That's why that his beloved would become immortal in this way. So they'll decline to everything, decline to summer, decline to fair, decline to beauty, but there'll be no decline to the beloved of Shakespeare, or to the beloved of the speaker, who the speaker of this poem, that is Shakespeare, right? So his beauty will last forever. The eternal summer shall not fade. He's talking about the eternal summer of his beloved. It will not fade, right? And never die. So in the couplet, the last couplet, the speaker explains how the beloved beauty will accomplish this feat and not perish, because it is preserved in the poem. So the speaker tells us that the beauty of his beloved will be preserved in his poem, in line of poetry. And you see that people will die, right? Time will pass and history will change. Everything will change while his beloved would be alive. And his beloved, there'll be no decline to his beloved, because he is going to preserve his beloved in the lines of poetry in this sonnet. Because after 400 or 500 years later, Shakespeare passed in 16th century, and it is 22nd century, right? We are living now in 22nd century, right? And still we are reading this sonnet, this poem. That's why that he is very much true, right? So it is preserved in the poem, which will last forever. It will live as long as man can breathe or eyes can see. As long as people can read and as long as people can see, so people will read this poem and people will remember his beloved, the speaker's beloved, in these lines of poetry. So in this way that the speaker or Shakespeare's, he's trying to preserve the beauty of his beloved, right, forever. So then we can say that art is immortal, right? Art is immortal. And because art is immortal, so he is trying to preserve and make also his beloved immortal in these lines of poetry. So this is the summary and a little bit explanation to the Sonnet 18 of William Shakespeare. And we will discuss more this sonnet on coming slides. This is the first line of the sonnet. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? So this is a question, it's a rhetorical question. And the speaker is seeking that shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Now this question is flattering in itself, as a summer day is often associated with beauty. As I told you on previous slide, that summer day is a sign of beauty. That's why the speaker is asking that shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Then on coming slide we will see that then the speaker will say that there is decline to summer's day and there are flaws with a summer day, right? But there is no flaw and there is no decline to my beloved. That's why then he will say that my beloved is more lovely and my beloved is more temperate, because there is no extreme of my beloved and there is too extreme to summer's day, right? Sometime the summer day the sun is too hot, or sometime we see is too dim, and on the other hand we see this decline to summer's day, because after the summer there'll be autumn, right? After autumn there'll be winter. So there's decline to summer's day and there's no decline to the beloved of the speaker. Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Here he says that my beloved is more lovely, more temperate. Shakespeare, however, explains that his love's beauty exceeds that of the summer and does not have its tendency towards unpleasant extreme. So then he says that his beloved surpasses the beauty of a summer's day, because there is no extreme, right, to his beloved, right? Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May. So when there are rough winds in the summer, they will disrupt the darling buds of May. And summer leaves hath all too short a date. And again, summer is for short time. There's decline to summer, summer's beauty. So it should be noted that at the time the sonnet was written, England had not yet adopted the Georgian calendar, and May was considered a summer's month. In the above quote, Shakespeare described the fragility and short duration of summer's beauty, because summer beauty is a very, summer day is very beautiful, it's very pleasant, right? There's no mage. But again, it's for short time, right? It has to disappear. So the use of the word leaves reminds us to the fact that everything beautiful remains so for a limited time, and only after a while its beauty will be forcibly taken away. So nothing remain for a long time, or beauty it's for limited time, it's for short time. Beauty will disappear after some time as the beauty of the summer disappears. But Shakespeare says that the beauty of his beloved will never shed, right? It will never disappear, because he is going to preserve the beauty of his beloved in lines of poem. Sometimes too hard the eye of heaven shines. So the eye of heaven is referring to the sun, and often is his gold complexion dimmed. Shakespeare states that the sun, which he personifies and refers to as the eye of heaven, can be too hot or blocked from the view of the clouds, unlike his more temperate love. So there is like two extreme of a sun. It may be too hot or it may be dim, but there is no like extreme of his beloved. And every fair from fair sometimes declines by chance or nature's changing course untrimmed. The repetition of the word fair highlights the fact that this fate is inescapable for everything that possesses beauty. So it means that there is decline to every beauty, and beauty will not remain for long time. It will remain for limited time. But the eternal summer shall not fade. Here Shakespeare is referring to his beloved, that your summer is forever, it's eternal, and it shall not fade. It's different from the summer of the May, which will disappear after some time. But your summer is forever. Not lose possession of that fair thou hast. You're not like that fair which loses its beauty. Your beauty will be forever. Nor shall death back thou, or even that the death cannot harm you, or even when a person dies. So beauty also disappear. But you're not like that. Wanders in his shade, when in eternal lines to time though grows, because he is going to preserve his beloved in eternal lines of poetry. So suddenly the tone and direction of the poem changes dramatically, moving on from bashing summer and the lamentation inherent in nature. The speaker pronounces that the beloved he is speaking to isn't subject to all of these rules he is laid out. So the rules are that every beauty will have a fall, okay, or a time will come that the beauty will be lost, right? And everything changes, right? There's change to summer, there's change to a night, right? There's change to time. So everything changes with the passage of time, and everything disappears. But his beloved, this rule is not applicable on his beloved. His beloved will remain alive forever. He will preserve in the lines of poetry. Here we have the last couplet of this sonnet. So long as man can breathe or eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee. So as long as there are humans alive on this planet, your life and beauty will live on throughout this sonnet, because he's going to preserve in this sonnet. Shakespeare's self-assured claim makes it possible to argue that the purpose of the poem was not actually to pay a beloved person accomplishment, but rather to praise oneself for a poetic skill. So he is going to talk about the poetic skill that he possesses. Now, who is the speaker of this poem? The speaker of the poem is the author. And who is the author? The author is William Shakespeare. Now, who is the addressee? The addressee of the poem is the young man. The tone is endearing, deep devotion for a lover. Symbolism also used in this sonnet: the darling birds of May, the beautiful, much-loved birds of the early summer. The eye of heaven is referring to the sun. That is symbolism. Figure of speech also used in this sonnet. For example, metaphor: shall I compare thee to a summer day? So summer day is used as a metaphor, right? So here the speaker is trying to compare his beloved with the summer day. That's metaphor. Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Now, we have also personification as a figure of speech used in this sonnet. Rough winds do shake the darling birds of May. So when you give the quality of a living thing to a non-living thing, that is called personification. When you want, or when you let a tree to speak, when you want a wind to speak, right? When you give human qualities to non-living thing, that's called personification. So rough winds do shake the darling buds of May. Sometimes too hot the eye of heaven shine. Nor shall dead brag, though wonders in his shade. Also hyperbole used in this sonnet, thou art more lovely and more temperate, but thy eternal summer shall not fade. So that's hyperbole, but thy eternal summer shall not fade, never fade. It's hyperbole to exaggerate something. And thou art more lovely and more temperate. You are more lovely and more temperate than a summer's day. Alliteration is also used in this sonnet. Every fair form fair. So we can see f and chance or nature's changing course. The sound is word that is ch. Chance, ch, nature and change. This is called alliteration. The use of assonance in the sonnet. More lovely and more temperate. The sound is o in mo and mo. And summer's lease hath all too short a date. The sound is a date, and in summer. And here we have the sound that is a. Is his gold complexion dim? You can see here in is and his and in dim. The sound is a. So this is called an assonance. So there is also repetition in this sonnet. For example, the repetition of the word like more. So more is repeated, summer is repeated, and eternal is repeated in this poem. This is repeated, so long is repeated, fair, nor, etc. Right? So these words are repeated in the poem. So when a word is repeated, so it means that you are giving like emphasis to those words, or there's importance of using such words. Structure of the poem. So the sonnet is written in iambic pentameter. The most common metrical pattern in poetry written in English alternate weak, unstressed and strong stress syllable. So it will be weak and strong, unstressed and stress syllable to make a 10 syllable. So it will be 10 syllable, 5 feet, and 1 foot we will have 2 syllable. So weak and strong, weak and strong, weak and strong, weak and strong, and weak and strong. Unstressed, stress, unstressed, stress, unstressed, stress, unstressed, stress, unstressed, stress. So what are the major themes of this poem or this sonnet? So the first theme, that is love. The second one is literature and writing. The third one is time. The fourth one is man and the natural world. And the fifth one can be like art and beauty. From a major perspective, the poem treats the theme of love. This runs from its hyperbolic comparison of the addressee, the poet's lover, mistress, to summer from line 1 to 8. Expectedly, there is a volta, that is turns, shift. In line 9, introduce with but, which affirm a turn in the argument. So here is the object of discussion, as it now directly refers to the lover with thy. So this emphasizes a slight changes in the immediate object of discussion. So this is like one of the structure of Shakespearean sonnet, that there will be shift, and this shift is known as volta. So thank you so much. It was all about sonnet 18, Shall I Compare Thee to a Summer Day by William Shakespeare. If you have any question, please leave your comments and I will reply. Thank you so much.